Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Planning for Profit 2, Week 1 Strategic Planning. We're really happy to have you with us tonight for the beginning of this course. And we're going to go over a few logistics of the evening to start. So first I wanted to introduce our speakers. Craig Madsen with Healing Hooves is going to be talking tonight about specific aspects of strategic planning that relate to developing a holistic goal and to testing decisions against that goal. Diane Green with Green Free Naturals in Sandpoint, Idaho is going to be talking about how to do a SWOT analysis of your farm or an enterprise on your farm. Myself, I'm Colette DePhelps. I'm going to be your facilitator this evening, and I'm in Moscow, Idaho. Melissa Lines, who's our question moderator, is up in Potlatch, Idaho tonight. We wanted to give you a few tips to having a successful experience on tonight's webinars. So these will run the same tips for each webinar that we do in this course. It will be helpful if you can close all other programs running on your computer now. So if you have an email program or word processing program, all of those are going to take up, space and memory in your computer and could cause some glitches in your viewing the webinar. So if you could go ahead and close that, that would be great. We'd also like you to check your sound, and if you're running into any problems with clarity or speed, we encourage you to switch to the phone. A call-in number is provided in the welcome email, so you can switch to the phone at any time during the webinar. And when you do switch to the phone, we want you to mute your computer sound. Again, that's just going to help things be better on your end. Because we have presenters in different locations this evening, we are having different weather situations all around the state, and there's a possibility that you could hear some cackling in the lines and some other background noise. So we apologize for that, but we don't see that it's going to interrupt the webinar in any way. You each have a question pane that's located on the right-hand side of your monitor, and that's where you can type in questions for the speakers, or if you need help with viewing and sound, please type your questions in there and Melissa will be able to respond to you. If you get a response that's highlighted in pink, that means that those responses are private to you. Green responses go to the full audience if they're highlighted in green. So what we'll be doing is we'll be having the presentation, and then at different breaks throughout the presentations there'll be an opportunity to ask questions. So if you go ahead and type your questions into those panes during the presentation, Melissa will be able to at least pose several of those questions to our speakers and they'll be able to answer them. If your question does not get answered, we encourage you to type your question into the discussion forum on the course webpage, and then we'll be able to answer your questions through that discussion forum following the webinar. We hope that you've had a chance to do a few things before tonight's webinar, and if you haven't, that you'll be able to do those soon. We have estimated that it will take about 5 to 8 hours a week to work through the content of this course. So we're hoping that you're able to set aside some time where you know that you're going to be able to do the readings and the assignments. Also, hopefully you've had an opportunity to log into the course website on Moodle and look around and to introduce yourself in the discussion forum. We really appreciate all of those of you that have been able to go on and introduce yourself and respond to other people's introductions. It's really exciting to see all the dialogue happening, and the discussion forums are going to be a place where we can really connect throughout the weeks of the course. We also hope that you've been able to practice viewing a webinar and a YouTube video. Some of the course content in subsequent weeks is going to be links to YouTube videos that we're going to ask you to watch. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, please try that before our next webinar. We also hope that you've been able to gather your financial data and your business or whole farm plans. You'll start working with that information next week, but we wanted to give you a heads up on the importance of getting that together. You should have received a packet of printed materials in the mail unless you registered within the last few days, and then you're going to be receiving those materials this week. So please double check there. In your packet of materials there's a list of what was sent to you. Please make sure that you did receive all those materials. Additional materials are being posted in the course Moodle site for you to download. And if you've gotten your reading materials, we hope that you were able to start reading for this week, and that after the webinar you'll be able to work on your assignments and finish your readings. I think you'll get the most out of each week's webinar presentation if you've been able to do the week's readings before you view the webinar. With that, we're going to move on to Craig Madsen talking about strategic planning. And when you do type your questions into the question pane, it would be really helpful if you could start with your name and your location. And that way when Melissa reads the questions to the audience, we'll be able to give some context to who's asking the question. So thank you very much and enjoy tonight's webinar.
Welcome everyone. I really do appreciate everybody joining us this evening, and I'm also excited about all the discussion that's been happening on Moodle so far. It's been very interesting to learn more about yourselves, and hopefully you'll enjoy this course as we go through it this evening and then the rest of the weeks that we have available to us. And just to start out, you may be wondering why I'm focusing on defining the vision for our lives in a Planning for Profit course. I know this is an advanced business planning course, but I think it's really critically important that everyone has developed a clear vision of how you want your life to live your life. A lot of decisions will be made during the development of your whole farm plan, from what enterprise to start to where you market your product. And how do you know that decisions you're making are taking you in the right direction if you do not know where you're going? Let me see. Okay, for some reason, let me see. There we go. For some reason, it was just slow to respond. There are two general types of planning. We make decisions every day on what we need to accomplish that day. This is called tactical planning. For example, I need to go build a fence. I need to prepare for market. Essentially, we are paddling the canoe down the river and going where it's taking us. The question we really need to ask is, are these actions based on a clear vision or strategic plan? Or are you letting the busyness of each day push you down an unknown river? Strategic planning, on the other hand, takes a big picture view and makes you answer such questions as, are you on the right river? Am I going in the right direction? Is this raft the right mode of transportation? The strategic planning process helps you clarify your destination. Each of us needs a clear vision on where we are headed in order to ensure that we reach our destination. Again, how will we know if we are headed in the right direction if we do not have a destination? Today I will be providing you an overview of holistic management, a process that I found to be very helpful in creating a vision for my life, a vision that Sulani, my wife, and I use as our magnetic north. Before I really go into a deep discussion about holistic management, I want to kind of give you a brief review of my background and how holistic management played a key role in my transition from working full-time to being self-employed. In 1994, when I was still working for the Natural Resource Conservation Service, I was involved in a personal development course. And the program provided training in a number of areas. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Holistic Management, Bob Chadwick's Consensus Building, and Ernesto Ciroli's Enterprise Facilitation, and some others. The training that had the biggest impact on my life was the holistic management training. The holistic management changed how I look at the world and led me to the process of evaluating what I was doing with my life. My job working for NRCS was not moving us toward our newly created holistic goal. that Sue Ann and I had created. I was coming home frustrated because the work I was doing was no longer satisfying. I was not just going